Hello, I'm Marissa, and this is my educational AI chatbot. This web application is aimed at guiding adult learners through a diagrammatic goal-setting activity using AI and data visualization techniques. My research background includes studying the presence of adult education theory in college classrooms, the professional development of student employees in digital media, and now being a mentor for undergraduate student researchers. What I often hear in all of these environments is, when will I use this in the real world? To answer this question, I began with a simple, hands-on prototype. Students would list out their school, work, and personal goals on sticky notes, organize them into a diagram, then follow in a guided discussion with me. Students would then write down their intersecting goals and interests on this diagram. The poster then served as a reminder of what they wanted to accomplish. Receiving positive participant feedback motivated me to reach more users, so I drew wireframe mock-ups for developing a digital application of this analog activity. Next, I mapped out the digital environment of my app, starting with the zerowidth large language model for my AI chatbot. Through visualizing information hierarchies, I could structure my prompt engineering with instructions, knowledge sets, and data chunks. My last AI project taught me that precision is key. I explicitly stated the order of instructions for the activity and that they must be done in chronological order. I also connected knowledge sets, such as my personal philosophy, to set the tone of the chatbot with students. I hosted the web application locally using node.js and installed a few packages on my terminal, including Node, NPM, and Express. I also locally hosted the p5.js library. I was now able to locally run the digital interface of my web application. I got the basic skeleton of my HTML and CSS files set up alongside hosting. I used a basic p5.js sketch to test for functionality, but my biggest challenge would be integrating the zerowidth API. It was definitely a crash course experience. I learned a lot about the structure of post requests, API testing, and API syntax, but eventually I had to pivot and use an iframe to call the chatbot from zerowidth instead due to learning curves. Thankfully, I was much more comfortable with HTML and CSS. I was able to customize the goal-setting diagram while also handling user input and interaction. I developed functions for adding, removing, and dragging a text box. I also learned how to call CSS styling within JavaScript functions and became much more familiar with p5.js syntax. I have merely scratched the surface of educational technologies. There are already free, accessible large language models and AI chatbots, collaborative web applications for interface design, and even digital interactive whiteboards through Google. The tools already exist, but we need curriculums that know how to use them. Organizations such as Adobe Education are leading the way in making digital media products accessible for creative learning environments. These technologies will prepare learners for a new form of self-expression. Educational technology is quickly becoming the foundation of classroom environments, but these tools need to be built with the learner in mind.